Welcome to Marathon Gaming. Boom!
Sorry, I'm laughing. So this is the fourth intro. I'm just going to leave this in. This is the fourth intro I've tried to do for this video. I've used Goldtooth for the fun now, so I thought, why not impersonate Goldtooth? For the Essex accent keeps coming through. I was like, how are we doing, YouTube? Keeping cool, keeping sexy. I love Goldtooth, but I cannot impersonate him. No one can. Right, Goldtooth tagged me in a video. It was a VR response. VR response? No, it's just a VR is what it's called, isn't it? VR for 10 questions. And first of all, I've never done a VR before. I thought we were talking Oculus Quest or something like that. Some new device. I didn't know. I still don't know what VR means. Even Access Area 6 couldn't work it out. Is it video response? Is it video... No, what was the other one? I've even forgotten. Video reply. I think that's what we was going with. We weren't sure which one. I've never done one of these. Probably the last one I'm ever going to do once you've fallen asleep while I answer these questions. I've made some notes. It looks, when I say notes, I've wrote down these 10 questions. I'm going to try and run through the history as quick as I can. First of all, hope everyone's had a good bank holiday weekend. Everyone's settled back into work, all right. I struggled myself this weekend. Well, today, Friday, me and the missus went to see Blink-182 Girth over at Reading Festival. That was a good laugh. And then we were so knackered like Saturday. I wasn't going to do anything. I was like, it's a waste of a day. I was playing The Witcher on PS5. Got well into that. We'll talk about that in a second. Absolutely loving The Witcher. And it's on Switch as well. It is on Switch, but more expensive. And I was like, I'm not going to go out. And I was like, you've got to know. You've got to. This is me, the devil inside my head. I was like, I've got to go out, otherwise it's a waste of a weekend. So I did go out just to meet a mate for a couple of beers. Basically, he was at this like Warhammer sort of place, tabletop place, near me in Hockley. And I've always wanted to see it. So I met him just in there last 10 minutes as he finished his game. Had a look around, and then we went for a couple of beers. Then another couple of beers. Then another couple of beers. Next thing you know, we was in an arcade in Southend called Kingpins. Don't know if anyone knows it. And we ended up in about 10:30, bearing in mind I went out about 4, in a karaoke booth we hired. Didn't know I could sing. I can clarify, I can't sing. And I didn't get in until about 4 a.m. It was a bit mental. And then I was supposed to go to a barbecue. I'm gutted. So I let a mate down, absolutely gutted. And then I've just been, my back hurts because I've been in like, has anyone done that laid all day? Like feet up, head up, like a U, like a half pipe. Big up Tony Hawks. And my back is just hurting like today. And I thought, what have I done? I thought, nothing. I've just been laying down and my back hurts. But anyway, I digress. I hope everyone had a great weekend. So 10 questions. This started, who started this off? This was answers on a postcard. Put it in the comments if you've seen. I've watched as many of these videos as I can. So Goldtooth tagged me in, and you also tagged in Retro Crisis. Access Area 6 tagged in Goldtooth and Tutor UK. I'm going to tag in everyone that I know about from this. Retro Red Steve was involved. I haven't seen that video yet. I've watched all the others that I've mentioned. I'll probably watch that after this. Fighter, it was, I've forgotten already. Who was it? Oh, Tony Fighter 2. Tony Fighter 2 started it off. So it was him, I believe, that started this off. And by the time, I thought, I'll mention as many as I can, but obviously by the time this video drops and you see it, like if everyone's taking 2 people in, I guess the idea is that one of them might do it and then it keeps it going alive. But obviously everyone's been doing it so far. So there's videos, it's just like gone like that. That's me throwing cards, doing a magic trick. We were doing magic tricks as well at the weekend. Don't get me started on that. So anyway, this is the longest intro in the world. You've probably turned off. For those that are still there, so it's 10 questions, all gaming related. They're very, they're broad. They're not specific into retro gaming or modern gaming. They're not trying to catch anyone out. It's just 10 standard questions. Some of them you've been asked before, some you haven't. But these sort of questions that can change, they're not permanent. You probably look back in 2 years and go, why the hell did I say that? And things come to you later on when you're thinking. You talk out loud, blah-de-blah. But just a bit of fun. I've really enjoyed the ones I have watched. So I will carry on watching the others, but after this, I'm going to watch, because I have got him in the thumbnail, Goldtooth Gaming. What a top bloke, a really funny guy. It tagged me in this video. I said to him, I said, I can't just do VR 10 responses. Like, no one's clicking on that. I was like, I don't know what angle to go with this. I'll tell you what, it needs to be a gun to my head. And I literally said to him, can you send me a picture of you holding the gun? And he did it so quick. It was a little bit concerning. Like, where did he get the gun that quick? Might be a knock at his door anytime soon. It might be me phoning up saying, you should probably knock at this person's door. I don't know where he lives, but it's somewhere in Donny. We'll find him. We'll find him. So yeah, let's go through these 10 questions. So what was I saying there? I've waffled again. He's got a video. I want to watch it after this. it's like I'm high today, isn't it? I've literally, it's just been a blur today. Struggled, got back home, gym, come home, quick shower. Oompa Woompa shirt. What's he called? Woompa. Crash Bandicoot. Ooga Booga is what I call him. That's a noise. You can edit that and use it as you please. Right. Question 1. What sort of games do you like to play? Again, everyone's done sort of different answers, and it's hard to pinpoint a certain thing. I know Goldtooth likes his shoot 'em ups, which he probably said. He did say. Andy likes his fighting games. And I Actis Area said fighting games as well. And Tut UK said he was ashamed to say he likes puzzles now because we're all getting old. We are all getting old, let's be honest. But yeah, I'm a little bit the same. It's not one particular genre. So I play a little bit of everything. I like some weird and wonderful games, different games. I remember really enjoying Firewatch. There was a game called Mosaic or Mosaic. I enjoy just some random games, you know, things that are different. I like to say I like horror games. I know Actis Area 6 said that, but unless it's an online multiplayer game like Friday 13th or Dead by Daylight, I actually get really scared on the intense ones. So I collect the horror games, but I play them very little. I don't get very far. You know, like those ones where, what's the original? Oh, you guys will know what I'm talking about. It's like, is it called Atmosphere? It's not Atmosphere, that's a board game. Where you're literally in, I can't remember what it's called. And it's like first person view, and you need the candle stay alight. I can't remember what it's called. It's like an original series from the PC that's ported over. But anyway, I can't play those. Anytime I try to play a horror game, I just get real scared. But yeah, talk about what I played recently. I've been loving The Witcher. But I wouldn't say, if you asked me 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't say an RPG. Do you know what I mean? I know Actis Area 6 hates RPGs. He did say that. But yeah, I'm open to all games really. Yeah, so at the moment I'm playing an RPG, but I wouldn't call myself an RPG fan. But then I was playing loads of roguelikes, got really into him for a whole 2 weeks before that on the Switch. But then again, I wouldn't say I like every roguelike because I don't. And that was evident from the top 10 list I did. Some of them I was slagging them off and had them in my own list. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, a bit of a strange one. So yeah, for me, it's a little bit of everything really. It's, yeah, I couldn't really answer that straight, and I haven't answered that. And there's going to be a theme of me not answering things properly, but let's move on. Question 2, how much time do you spend playing games? I reckon not every night, but most nights I'll do like an hour. It's only so much time you have. So it's how much time you got, personal time, but things work out well with the missus. I haven't got any kids, so I get in. I either go gym or run in the morning. If I miss it, like I did this morning, I go after work. And then Mrs. does all the cooking. So I get a good 30 to 45 minutes while she's cooking. So it's very lucky. And then, yeah, I do. I get like an hour each night, but I wouldn't say more than an hour. Because obviously with doing YouTube, like I try to do 2 videos a week, and that eats up a lot of my time. So I reckon about an hour a night. But then at the weekend, it can vary. Like it could be just a couple of hours, or I might decide to stay in, the missus might be out, and I might sit there for 3-4 hours and play on a Friday night. But then, like, for example, I must have played where I was hanging out my arse on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. I must have played, mate, that Witcher, I reckon 12, 14 hours straight. And yesterday, my back still hurts. And it's not from carrying the boats, that's for sure. But yeah, so it does vary. But then I might go, a bit like what Goldtooth says. I think he works shifts, like a few days on, a few days off. So he might play like loads, like binge, like a TV show. And then he won't play anything for a few days. I'll speak to him sometimes, what you're playing. And he wouldn't have played anything for ages. And then sometimes he'd be really into something. So yeah, so again, it does vary for me. But I reckon an average of like an hour, no more than 2 hours each night, no chance. Like an hour and a half. And the weekend is a bit more. But that's me being realistic. I don't wake up in the morning and play games before going to work or anything like that. And there's no way I can play everything in here. Like with the retro stuff, I literally just pick and choose console. Like it's hard to read 2 books at the same time. It's the same with games. Like I can play a modern game and then you might be like into your Game Gear or into your Wii or into your PS1. I have cycles of different consoles, and that's what I do at the moment. At the minute, I'm kind of gone from, I haven't touched the Xbox Series X or PS5 in months. And all of a sudden, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to play The Witcher, you know? And I was playing another. What was I playing? Oh, Goldtooth, you hate these games. I tried a strategic game. What the hell was it called? Anno. You'd hate that, mate. You'd hate it. Look it up. You'd probably throw up on the camera. You probably turned it off. I hope you haven't turned it off, mate. It's out of order if you have. Flick me back on. Right. Question 3. Do you think games can be educational? Everyone summed up good points at hand-eye coordination. I don't really know how true that is, to be honest. It's good at practicing that game. It's like brain training. Do you remember those? Like, you practice like on a DS, but you wouldn't be, your brain wasn't getting any better. You're just getting better at that game. But co-op games, I think, are good. Like, especially for young kids and that, talking and things like that, especially if people don't, like, I shouldn't be giving parent advice, I've got no children. But yeah, it's good, I think, for kids to be talking to different people, as long as there's no weirdos online. But co-op games, I think, are fine. And then obviously puzzle games, things like that, really good for problem solving, I would say. Yeah, educational, yeah, puzzle games. Yeah, and then there's Thief Simulator. So to make what you point out, everyone was saying about simulators, wasn't there? It's the first one that comes to my mind. Funny story. I couldn't do a whole video about it, but I wish I could because it is hilarious. Should have done a short about it. I'm sure I've mentioned this before if someone's asked me, or in a pub. I was really into Thief Simulator, and I remember my missus saying, like, "Oh, that's bad karma playing that." And it's true, it's a game, isn't it? Like, we like GTA, but I'm not going out beating the shit out of hookers and stealing cars. It's escapism from the real boring world. And anyway, I'm playing Thief Simulator, like, really enjoying it. It's a really good game. I don't know when the second one's coming out. I've been talking for years, but yeah, it's been out years. It's like one of the early games I got on Switch a long time ago. Only probably cost a few quid. Well, honestly, a good laugh. But it gets really hard, like, later on. When it starts off, it's so easy. Like, you're just in normal suburban, like, ghettos and stuff. People leave windows open. But when you get to the harder maps later on, when you've got, like, hot wire cars and there's cameras to disarm and you're stealing paintings, it got a bit too far-fetched. But anyway, I was really enjoying it. And then one night, we was in bed, heard something going, alarm. And you know, you're just confused, because I struggle sleeping sometimes, and I have a little sleeping tablet. And I went downstairs, because we have little white noise. It's hard, because we listen to rain sounds while we're sleeping as well, because we're weirdos. And I went downstairs, and I just thought it was the oven. I was just confused. And I thought the oven was beeping, and I was like, I can't turn it off. And then she went, no, it's outside. And I went out there, someone smashed the window of my car. I'm not going to say what I left in there, because you'll probably come and smash my window again. I left someone in there like an idiot, and they smashed my window. And she was like, well, that's karma. And since then, I haven't touched Thief Simulator. Hands of heart. Right. Where are we? Question number 4. What don't I like about video games? I hate crafting stuff. That came to mind straight away. I can tolerate it in some of the, like, Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, but it annoyed me in, I remember Fallout, trying Witcher. I've got rubbish, like, swords and shields, but I can't be bothered to go around picking nettles and foresting to craft. I can barely craft in my own time, let alone in a game for enjoyment. I'm not into crafting at all. What else do I not like about video games? What did everyone else talk about? Everyone was talking about the download speeds and annoy them, which is something everyone would say, of course. I didn't want to have the same answers as everyone, so I tried to make notes of what other people said, so I didn't say the same thing. I don't like big box games. That annoys me. I know, like, special editions, because it just, like, I've only caved into, like, 1 or 2 of them, but they don't fit on the shelf. That annoys me. And they charge you. They stick stupid things in there, and I'm a sucker for it every time. Like, you order something day one, you get a pin badge, and you get such random stuff. Like, I've told you, I think before, I've got a box of grass seeds that come with Pikmin. I don't know why that happened. And then there was supposed to be a scarf that come with Mario Football. I ended up getting a poster because I got it from the wrong shop. I've got a Pokemon badge thing, look. But you don't want to open it. That come with, like, Shining Pearl. You get stupid little things, like stickers. But I've got so many key rings. I've only got one house, one car. What am I supposed to do with all these key rings? What am I going on about now? I've lost it again. Rampaging, right. What don't I like about videos? Oh, yeah. So that annoys me. Sometimes I get a game and it goes on Game Pass. I know, like, that annoys me. And, like, I brought a super rare game. I haven't shown it yet. It's come and now it's on Game Pass. What a waste of money. But then Goldtooth did say, I think, I'm an idiot if I buy a super rare game, so fair comment. I've also brought a game, I think it was called Vigor, Vigor, and it looked really good, and I was really invested in it. And I brought it, And it was like an open world, like sort of Medal of Honor style. I'd say COD, but COD seems more modern. Do you know, like World War One, Two, that sort of style? And it looked really good. And I paid like a lot of money, digital, downloaded it, like 30 sheets or something. And then it must have flopped. And then 2-3 weeks later, I saw a couple of mates playing it, and I was over the moon. And I was like, yeah, it's free. And I was like, for God's sake. So that really annoyed me. What else? What's the next question? How much you spend on games? What are we on now? What don't I like about video games? This came up because I was on a podcast. I helped co-host podcasts of the Unofficial Controller podcast. Might as well plug it in now. And we were talking about digital versus physical, because one of the co-hosts on there loves his Steam Deck, and then that's Seb, and George was saying his next console will probably be digital. And I was there back against the ropes trying to fight our corner, fight the little people of the retro gaming world. And there's some games like I want to play, but I'm like, no, I stand my ground. Alan Wake 2 was one of them. I can't remember the other one. They haven't done a physical. So I'm like, no, I'm not buying it, but I'm missing out. So that annoys me. Right, I think I've covered that because I've been talking for 16 minutes. We're only halfway through. And there's a lot of these. So if someone wants to watch all of these videos, I need to keep it under half an hour just to help you boys out and girls. Right. How much do you spend on games? A month, I reckon, honestly, 100 to 200 max. I'm being honest. Sometimes it's less, but like I know, for example, when I got paid, I reckon I bought 4 or 5 Switch games. Not all full whack price, but I definitely, if it's not, I'll go to a retro shop. Like I reckon I do spend £100, £200, and that might seem a lot. But I don't think it is really for a hobby. Because you think about it, you can go on a piss with your mates and spend 100 quid. Go for 2 beers in London, you spend 100 quid. Like even around my local way, I don't know what it's like where you guys are geographically in the country. I know it's cheaper. Whenever I travel up north, I love it. But down south, east of England, it's like 6-7 quid a pint. It really pisses me off. It's quite expensive to get pissed down here, to be fair. Lucky I'm a lightweight. But yeah, I reckon so. But I don't know whether they're talking about, or how much you've spent. No, it says how much do you spend on games. I have obviously paid, silly money just for one game as a one-off. But I mean, month to month, £100, £200 max, no more than that. And again, it's all justifiable. You've got to spend your money on something, haven't you? It's what you enjoy. So what is your favourite games consoles? Question number 6. I'm going to do what Tootie did, by the way. I'm going to put the questions on the description. I'll even put the question on the bottom here, in case I've muddled up myself. What is your favourite games console? Be brutally honest, not looking at retro, because they all have different highlights, like Tootie said it best, like it was such a different, we had so many consoles and different upgrades and stuff, but for me, it's probably the Switch, being brutally honest, because the Switch is what got me back in gaming. So I had all the consoles, and then you kind of dropped off from the Wii and just went to casual gaming. So like I had a 360, only because my wife, the fiance probably at the time, only because she brought me one. And if she didn't, I wouldn't have bothered. She bought me one of those, and I played FIFA and COD like everyone else did. And then I got an Xbox One, but I reckon I didn't have more than 6 games. I remember getting really into Rainbow Six Siege. You just found one game you liked, and then I sort of done dusted with it. And then I heard the Switch coming out. Heard there was a new Pokemon game, Pokemon Sword and Shield. I thought, I've not played any of them, because I hadn't played any of them since the original Game Boys. I hadn't played any of them in between, nothing. And I was like, wow, modern graphics. I got the Switch for that. And then obviously while getting it, found out you can dock it, it's portable. I was like, oh my God. And then it sort of just, I discovered the online libraries. That's when digital does come in handy. It made me discover indie games and appreciate them. And then I still had my retro stuff, but then that Switch is when I really ramped it up. Because like my retro journey started, I was in the flat, and we got married in 2013, and it was and we was in that flat living there, and we got married. So it must have been, I brought an NES, and I bought the Pikachu N64. Must have been when I was in that flat. So 2011, 2012, when I started getting into retro gaming. But then when I got the Switch, it came hand in hand with realising these indie games and retro games were there available. So I just had a little corner in this room. This is what sort of birthed the room. I'm going off topic a little bit. And then the Retro Hunter opened up. I never knew CEX sold second-hand games. I didn't notice. I was tunnel vision. I saw like the older console, but didn't realise it had all the old stuff. I'm a bit like that. I don't notice some things. A bit blasé. And I discovered the retro. Everything just came up at once. Do you know what I mean? So, and then I started. That's when I just started filling a room with loads of crap, basically, just like a kid in a candy store. But yeah, for me, I've got to give props to the Switch because that's what got me proper into gaming again. Do you know what I mean? I had left it like a casual gamer, like you do. And it was a sort of right time in my life. You know, like, you know, in your 20s, you're out a lot and, you know, clubs and drinking and stuff. And as you get older, you haven't got as much disposable income. You got more bills. A lot of your mates got kids and stuff. No one goes out as much. You get pissed quicker because you're not drinking as much. It all comes hand in hand. So I had more spare time. So the gaming, yeah, it came at the right time. So for me, I would say the Switch probably been my favourite like Nintendo system to collect, and it's definitely what I've got the most games for. Like, I've brought a lot of games for NES and the SNES, and they're all like fantastic machines and stuff, but you know, I don't go back and play them every week, but the Switch I kind of do, so I've got to pay homage to it, really. I know it's a modern console, and you probably wasn't expecting that, but never mind. What is your favourite video game? Again, everyone sort of said you can't say one game, and it's what pops into your head. I love Punch-Out and Kirby on the NES. On the PlayStation 1, I love Twisted Metal and Demolition Derby. You weren't expecting that, was you? Thought I was going to say Crash Bandicoot. And then, yeah, it just depends on the... it completely just depends on the console, I think. And then Sega Mega Drive, frozen time then. Sega Mega Drive, Streets of Rage 2, loads of great memories of that. I even had great memories of FIFA 95. It's where you were at that time in your life, and how important that game is to you. So it's hard for me to say one particular game. GoldenEye on the N64, do you know what I mean? It's really hard. There's not one that makes me just want to say that's my favourite. Lately, I loved Red Dead Redemption. It lasted so many years. That blew my mind. The first one blew my mind. And then someone mentioned a game they played the most of. I think it might have been Access Area 6, because he says he always goes back to a snooker game and Tetris. Didn't see that coming from him either. That's what's interesting about his videos. You do find some things out you might assume about someone, but won't be correct. I've forgotten what I was going to say now. Oh yeah, game played the most of is Dead by Daylight as a horror survival game. And we literally found that by accident. I was playing Friday 13th, don't know why, with some friends. And there's literally just there's 3 of us to play it online. The game was buggy as fuck because it didn't get supported. It was the best game ever, that was. I'm just ashamed it lost his licensing. Dead by Daylight came along and just took every license going. I've talked about the game enough, but I played that like Steam PC. I had a laptop for like a minute, you know, till it burnt out. I played it on Xbox, I played it on Switch. I played it hundreds of hours on each console, so I'm definitely into the 1,000 hours or so. And that's a lot for me, for someone with a short attention span, a bit of ADHD. So, yeah, Dead by Daylight, I've probably played the most of. But there's too many specific games, say, the best. Like, we was talking about this the other night, after when I was round someone's house, round the mates, and we was knocking back some beers and that, after that karaoke bar Saturday, and we was all going around the table, literally saying favourite games. It's funny, it's hearing what people say. Someone to the sports game, and we nearly slapped him off the table. It was crazy. Right. Question 8, we're getting near the end, stay with me. Oh yeah, I am going to tag 2 people in the video at the end, so stick around for that. I'll put a link in the description to their channel. Make sure you check out Goldtooth Gaming. Everyone who's been involved so far, check out their channels. And you might find something you love, who knows. Favourite video game movie? Now, I couldn't really think of any of them. I know everyone said The Wizard. I haven't seen that. And Tootie was going about it. I know loads of people going about it. I've heard of it. I know a lot of references from it, but I haven't actually seen it. Access Area 6 said Lawnmower Man. I heard that was bad, so maybe I should watch that and correct myself. Yeah, there's not one thing that stands out. Like, I don't want to say Mario or Sonic or any of the runs which sort of go video game reality based. But I'll go from another angle, because the film come first, then it was a game. Warriors. what a good film that is. And to be honest with you, if it wasn't for the game, I'd never knew about Warriors. So I remember playing the game and I was amazing. And then I found out it was based on the film and I was like, oh my God. And then the two things were just in heightened for me. I loved Warriors. Like, it's still a good film now. Bearing in mind, I didn't watch it at its time it was out. It was a little bit slightly before my time, you know. So yeah, that's going to be the answer for that. Is going to be Warriors because that was quality. Favourite video game character. Again, there's not someone in particular which I would refer to. It's definitely Crash Bandicoot on the PlayStation. I'd probably say I like Spyro, but I didn't at the time. I didn't like those sort of games, but I do like him now. But no, I'm not creaming in my pants over a particular character. I like Kirby. But yeah, there's not anyone particular stands out. There's some cool characters and some sexy characters in some of the games, but I'm not going to choose one person over another. I really don't know how to answer that, to be honest. We'll go Crash because of the T-shirt. Should we go Crash? But it's just too many. There's just too many characters. And then I'll say one, and then another one will come to my head. I like Bucky O'Hare because I'm looking at a figure of him on the side. He had a game and a TV show. Maybe I'll say him, Biker Mice and Mars. He got nostalgia for so many characters. Do you know what I mean? It's not one particular mascot. It's not like, it should have been Mario or Sonic. That might have divided people. Again, no answer, no answer from me. That was helpful, wasn't it? We'll go with Crash. Right. It's interesting, Xbox Series 6 play a lot of Crash Bash, because I did as well. But when you go back and play that game, all the levels are the same. Like, I didn't realise as a kid, there's like 5 levels just redone, like over and over again. It's a right chore. Play Xbox Series 6, if you do watch this, and you've made this far and you haven't fallen asleep, first of all, you're probably late for work, because I've been talking for hours. Second of all, play it now, because it starts off all fun. Oh, I remember this. And then you realise the same, and you've got to redo things without losing a life to get certain emeralds. It's really hard work. Very grindy. I never noticed it as a kid. Proper grinder. Good app, that. Right, question 10. Least favourite type of game. I like all games, but maybe online free to play, because they'll trick you. Like, you play it, but then to be successful and good in it and compete, you have to pay. And you end up paying more than you would if you had the game. I'm all for skins. Like, I was an idiot. I was buying outfits for characters on Dead by Daylight, like I'm playing Cinderella or Dolls. But I love the game. I put a lot of hours into it. But when you're playing a game, those microtransactions annoy me. But I know that's part of the modern world now. I hear about these Robux and all that. Robux, that's the Fortnite, I think. Or the other one. I haven't played them. I've just heard about dads in pubs moaning about them. That's what I've heard. Right. I've answered those questions as best as I can. I'm going to tag 2 people in this. Who am I going to tag in it? Just going to keep it switching around. I'm going to tag in it ZX Tetley from West Coast. Try and spread it around the country, because then he can tag people. I'm going to send it there. Obviously, he likes his Spectrum, but it'd be good to hear from him. He doesn't mind sitting behind the camera and talking to you. I enjoy watching ZX Tetley. So yeah, I'm going to send it there. I think he's over in Devon Way. And then we're going to send it slightly northeast of Essex, up Norwich Way, Norfolk Way. I'm going to tag in the Monkeries. Tom and Hannah, you can tackle this both together. I want to see you both side by side, because you always do a video. It's either Tom or it's Hannah. It's very clever. Like a husband and wife duo. So maybe you could share, give an answer each, and then tag 2 people your own. But you don't have to do this. That's what everyone's been saying. You don't have to. As long as one of you does it. No pressure. No pressure. Thank you to Gold2 for the ridiculous thumbnail. And thanks to everyone, Tony Fighter 6 for starting it off. And thanks to everyone's videos. I really enjoyed Tooties. Really enjoyed Act Series 6. I'm trying to think the other ones I've watched now. Retro Red Steve, I've got to watch that one next after I've caught up on Gold2's video. He's just done it. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, hit me with a little comment. You can join the Marathon Gaming Community Hub Discord. It's all free. So I'll put the link in the description for that, the invite code, and I'll also put a link to the podcast which I've recently sort of joined to help out as a co-host, which is the Unofficial Controller Podcast, and there's an episode every week. So the last episode we talked about Gamescom releases. Again, we talked about rumours, new games coming out, that sort of stuff. Really good fun. But I touched on it earlier, so I won't go on too much. But yeah, check that out. Anyway, have a good week. See you later. Bye-bye.